Vicious with the score, he can get it in. Vicious for the win! What's going on, everybody? This is Filthy Rich over here, live from Amazon Game Studios. I'm joined by...
I'm Berserker Mike, senior producer on Breakaway, and I'm really excited about today's show, Rich. Just in case you're tuning in for the first time, Breakaway is a 4v4 team battle sport where two teams race to score 3 points. Rich, could you recap on how they score those 3 points?
So, one of them is to grab that relic and put it on the opposite side of the map and put it in the opposite team's relay. That's one way to score a point. Another way to score a point is to completely eliminate everybody on the opposite team before anybody can respawn. And last but not least, we have the territory win, which is making sure that you have the relic past the halfway point when the timer ticks down to 0. You get 3 points in order to win a game, and there you have it. That's a game of Breakaway.
And that's Breakaway. And what we had recently was an alpha this past December, and we got a lot of great feedback from the community on what was working, what wasn't working. And so we found a really opportunistic time to make the game better. So what we want to cover is 4 specific areas in the game that we think are going to make Breakaway great for the community out there. And those are giving players better movement options, more options for combat capabilities, priority focus on the buildable game, and then lastly, revisiting the balancing of the gold economy.
So during this show, Mike and I are going to talk about all these changes, but we're also going to show you some of the examples that we have in gameplay. What's really cool is that right after this show and on the next Throwdown Thursday, you will see all these gameplay changes live in action with all the players that we have for Season 3. So let's get on into it. Let's hop onto it. The first game change that we're going to be talking about is the movement overhaul.
That's right, Rich. So we've done some pretty significant things to the overall experience. What we started with was by having the players facing camera relative. So we introduced an Omni Nav. So now wherever Rich attacks, or whatever way Rich faces, that's the direction he's going to attack. So Rich looks left, he looks right, he's going to attack in those directions.
Yeah, if you saw it before in the previous versions, you would move your camera, but your character will be facing whatever he was at earlier. Again, this was causing that issue where a lot of people were using their crosshair to aim. Now this crosshair is your guide to hit the players around you.
Now, Rich, start moving around while you're attacking.
Uh-oh. This is it. A lot of people wanted this, Mike.
So this is brand new. So it's a system that we're calling movement decay. So as you move and you swing, you'll actually slow down, but you won't come to a full stop. However, if you keep mashing and the more that you attack, that slows down your overall speed.
So again, you know, be very precise on when you choose to attack. That movement decay is going to, you know, hurt you and bite you in the butt if you're just going to mash it out. But it's also good to keep in mind when you're playing against another person.
And so lastly, Rich, why don't you go ahead and show them some of the relic options that you have when you're moving. Now, this happens even without the relic, but I just like watching you run with a relic.
All right.
So can you move left and right?
Oh, there it is.
So we've introduced Omni Nav. So you have strafing left and right. So the whole goal was to give you more movement options and abilities while you were camera facing.
And what's nice about this, as you just saw right there, we're going to let the countdown timer go back down, but you'll be able to strafe, you'll be able to juke, so the players that just like to capitalize on getting more space in the actual map, when it comes to situations where you have to juke, like strafing will enable that opportunity for you.
So yeah, we just overall wanted to give players more options to move with ease. So another big change that we made was to the way that you cast your abilities. And so now we have 3 options to select from. We have a double tap, a press and release, and a single tap. So Rich, if you can show them in the options, double tap, hold and release, and a single tap. Now what happens during the double tap and the press and release is that you see the outline, a guide of your attack. So you get to see the range of it, how big the attack box is, and you can cancel or execute that attack from having that guide out.
What's cool too, to add to what Mike is talking about, is that now we have an actual indicator to let you know when your attack will hit. As you can see, this is almost like the hitbox of the actual attack, and we know that this team loves to show hitboxes to the people.
I love hitboxes.
But as you can see, now it's indicated as yellow. I'm going to, because I'm on double tap, I'm going to press R one more time for my Hole Buster, and it shot it to the ground because I was aiming down. Noob play by me. I still have, let's see.
You have your buckshot.
I still have buckshot. And let me go out to closer to Ambani over here. It's indicated as yellow. I'm going to press E one more time. Boom. It hit. Guaranteed. And I was able to get my extra shot off, too.
You keep shooting Reticent Couch. What's awesome about this and why we wanted to give 3 different options is to help you with your character mastery. So for certain characters where you don't want to have the guide up, you don't want to double tap, you can go to that quick cast and you already know your ranges, you've developed them, go into the game, play the way that you want to play. But you can still do combos. So Rich, can you show them some of the combos that they're capable of doing?
So since I still have my Hole Buster up, I'm going to do my regular attack into Hole Buster, and got it. No problem.
Yeah, so
and that's even with double tap.
Yes, absolutely. So we've done nothing to the way that you can combo abilities. So it's just more options for how you learn and how your ranges are displayed. So one of the next big changes that we've done, Rich, has to do with buildables.
Okay.
And so what we wanted to do was make the buildable experience even stronger. So one of the biggest changes, and you might have already seen a preview on the HUD that Rich is playing right now, is that you only have one buildable. But that buildable is evocative of that character very strongly. And so what we've changed about the buildable is not only do you only have one, but it's very strong. So it has a lot more health. So instead of just considering building everything back and fortifying your own base, you can move upfield and start building smaller fortifications, like creating other mini objectives, like Rich is doing around the buff. And lastly, we made a big update to the economy and gold game. So as I mentioned before, buildables no longer drop bonus gold. So that is a significant change. So the chart tactic has to be adapted to a new strategy. The second big change that we made was that now all players are awarded passive gold over time.
We do have some character-specific stuff that we do want to touch up. You might have seen a little bit of it while we were doing some of the demo stuff, but we're going to go through 3 of the characters that have gone through some pretty big changes.
The first one that we want to talk about is Spartacus. So a lot of complaints about him being such a strong lockdown character, so we've made some adjustments to some of his attacks. Starting with his primary, it is no longer a 2-hit combo. It is a single attack, and it also uses the new movement decay system. So you can press the attack as Rich is doing, and you can also move and home in on targets. So you can use that, go ahead.
Now the thing here, what was happening before was that Spartacus had 2 consecutive strikes where people were stun locked as long as those 2 buttons, as long as you press the attack twice in a row, making it really, really easy for you to confirm into any one of his abilities. Now we're just adding a small layer of complexity to the point where like you can't really mash it, and now we just want people to be really precise in their decision making when they press that attack.
Right, we didn't want to give away a free hit confirm, so you have to take advantage of like utilizing the hit decay, knowing how fast the pace it is that you should attack to keep and maintain pressure on a moving opponent now that they have much better movement options. And additionally, what we did is we changed retribution. I'm sorry, for glory.
Yes, we did. So this is a big change. If you remember, the old version was a 3-strike attack. Now we've changed it, and we're going to show it to you for the first time. Here it is. 1 long for glory kick.
That's right. So you don't get the dire straits of being in a 3-hit lockdown, so you don't go from basic into this 3-hit series and feel like you're completely out of control. But you still have the combo ability from Spartacus. The kick is longer range, so you do get more knockout opportunities with him, especially if you're doing rush down near edges.
So that covers Spartacus's changes. We're going to move on to the next character. This one is pretty big because it changes one of the abilities, so we're going to change over. Give you one moment.
So the character is Alona. So what we wanted to do was really focus in on what she was doing with her ultimate. because a lot of the matches and a lot of things that we saw was that healing was still pretty overpowered, and pretty significant. So we wanted to make it a little bit more skill-based. So what we did was we made a Blessing of the Sun project in front of her. So it's still a flash heal, and you have to be within the circle to take the full flash heal, but it persists. So anybody who runs into the circle as it's active will get healing over time. So anybody who runs into that circle is going to get healed over time, but she is no longer invulnerable when she executes it, Rich.
So I believe that this is going to change the way that people approach team fights, the way they're going to help. A lot of players are going to help their fellow team members just stay alive and sustain in these team fights. Is a cool change. I think it changes a lot of the dynamic. Before, you just used to go in, there was invulnerability that was attached to it. We'll see what this does. It's going to be nice to be able to see from spectator mode, because you're going to see a lot of different dynamics for team changing, and that covers her big change.
Absolutely. She was already a very mobile character, and so with these changes to movement, she's become even more mobile, so we need to balance out the amount of healing and invulnerability that she gets with these changes to her ultimate. Now looking into Black Knight. Black Knight has two significant changes. One has to do with his E ability.
Not dying. Dying is still the same.
Rich is on some E jumping off the stage. All right, let's check out these two new changes. One is to his Cruel Summons.
Yeah, let me show this. I think this is a great way to show. So first off, if you guys remember, Cruel Summons originally was called Pull. Now we gave it an epic name, so it's already better. But let me show you what happens to an opponent that doesn't have the relic in hand. Knockdown. Now you're thinking to yourself, how is that different? Before, it was just a state that pulled the opponents closer. It was a way to extend a lot of the combo capabilities that would start from his R, that you would get it just a constant strength. But now we've added this layer, and it's actually enabling a lot of cool opportunities. Let me show off how it works with an opponent carrying a relic. So I'm going to hit it. He's going to get knocked down. I have an opportunity to run that relic forward, and he has to deal with the wake-up frames on that. So more opportunities.
A very good option for a lot of like the tank relic runners out there. So I know, you know, Gucci's looking for a new character to try out, or I know Bones was a former Black Knight player. He's got some really cool relic running options based off of the modifications that we made to Cruel Summons. Now the last change that we made, Rich,
the last
change that we made is to his defensive ability.
So defensive ability still has the same animation that it does before, except for the fact that at the end of it, it no longer pops that has this AoE blast radius that launches opponents. But instead, what's happening is, we actually have the stats here, we can go through this, is that when you pop this defensive ability, it will reflect damage on to the original dealer that wanted to strike Black Knight while he had that activated.
That's right. So he has an increase in armor like he did before. In addition to that, 0.5 times your armor value is reflected in damage to whoever hit you. So Rollins, beware. If you go ahead and you go guns a-blazing on him, he's going to reflect each one of those bullets back at you for 0.5 his armor value. And he's already tanky to begin with.
Now, what's one cool thing that he can actually do that many other characters can't do is that he can cancel this from an auto attack, which I think is going to change the approach on how you come up to Black Knight, what abilities you want to use on him, and just the character all around. It may seem minor, but I believe it's pretty major.
I think it will be pretty significant. The fact that you can go from Cruel Summons into Dark Call while having that defensive ability out, people are going to be taking damage from you and not having many options to attack you back. So there's some pretty opportunistic things that you can do now with these modifications.
So that covers all the changes that are making their way into Breakaway. We covered the gameplay mechanic changes, but we also covered some character-specific ones. Mike, thank you so much for the info on that. We'll be seeing a lot more of you up in here. But what's also going to be happening is that in the upcoming episodes of Throwdown Thursday, you will see these changes live. You will see gameplay pushing these things. You will see a lot of these meta changes that hopefully make the show more exciting, but we want to know what you think about it. So please hit us up on each one of our social channels, as well as the live broadcast that happens. Let us know what you think. So from all of us over here at Amazon Game Studios, I'm Filthy Rich.
And I'm Berserker Mike.
See you guys next time.